أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. Same as every night, the salawat is very weak, so we need a much louder salawat. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Excellent. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا خيرة خلق الله ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. السلام على الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. As usual, we want everyone to recite the ziyarah of we say salams to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam and his family. So together, inshaAllah. Assalamu ala al-Hussein wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussein wa ala awlad al-Hussein وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. السلام على التسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, my dear sisters, my dear brothers, wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Ahsantum. So, this is our fourth or fifth night, is it? Which one is it? Can't remember. Fifth? Is it fifth? And so therefore, it's important for us, as we are moving now fast towards Ashura, for us to have really understood at least something out of this particular occasion. It's important that for us as we go on during these particular talks, for you not just to attend, and it's all very good, and I'm very, very thankful to you all and honored for you to attend, but it's important you pick something practical out of all this, because we don't want people to just come in. There's spaces here if anyone wants. We don't want Kauthar, there's spaces here. We don't want people to come in and then you don't get anything out of it. Okay? Do you understand? And I don't want, remember, this is for 13 over, and I've made an exception for people who are around 12 or 11, but I don't want any talking. Yes? Strictly no talking. Do you understand? Yeah? Strictly no talking. If you are going to talk, I'll send you out. Because you're not even supposed to be here, but I've made an exception for you. Okay? Okay. So, what we're going to talk about today, my dear sisters and brothers, is how can I cope under pressure? Now, what we're doing in this series of I always can't pronounce this word very well. Usually people tell me you're saying serious as in S-E-R-I-O-U-S, but it's S-E-R-I-E-S, yeah? Serious, yeah. Look, there's something wrong with me, all right? Just accept that. So what we're doing is we're asking this question, lots of questions that a typical teenager will ask. So the title, the theme is delving into the teenage brain, right? We're delving into your brain. And so therefore, we're asking some questions, really interesting questions, such as how can I cope under pressure? So today, inshallah, we're going to talk about how to cope under pressure. Yesterday we talked about what's the point of the human race, the human race, why do we exist, etc. Inshallah, you took something out of it. So today, inshallah, we'll be talking about how can I cope under pressure. Now, there are lots of causes for, there's lots of reasons why we are in a particular situation sometimes where we are under pressure, especially if you're teenagers. There are lots of times I'm sure that you have faced where you feel so under pressure, you feel stressed, yes? Especially when it comes to expectations and it comes to school, etc. So let's go through them. And some of them are, obviously, you'll resonate with them. So there are expectations, isn't there, from you, and especially from your parents. Yeah? Your parents want you to get really good marks at school. They say, oh, you're going to get good marks. And if you haven't revised, oh, you're in trouble, mate. You're really in trouble if you haven't revised, haven't you? Right? Why have you not revised? Why are you watching TV? Why you're on your phone? Why? At the end, right, you go to your exam or just a few days before your exam and you're really trying your best to revise, go through all the books, and you feel so stressed, you feel so much under pressure because of bad time management. But also importantly, because some parents, right, they really pressurize you and say, right, priority, you gotta get good marks. Otherwise, right? And that, I don't know what it is. I hope it's something simple. But usually it's like, you're banned from this, or you're banned from that, or I'll take your phone away. Yeah? That's if you have a phone. Or no more Xbox, no more PlayStation, no more TV, no more that, no more this, yeah? It's all forms of punishments that we parents tend to do if you become someone who you don't really listen to us. And mainly it's about really expectations from us towards you, that we expect you to get good marks in your exams, yeah? Especially from parents and family. Parents and family say, what did, when you meet up at home or with your immediate family or extended family, and they say, oh, this person got this mark, 90% in their maths. What did your daughter get? Or what did your son get? You think, as parents, we'll go, yeah, about that. Let's change the topic, right? So what we tend to do is we want to make sure that when people talk about that, we are proud and we say, yeah, my son got 90% in their maths because I'm a great parent. And I made sure, I put them so much under pressure that at the end they just had to get 90% because I'm a proud parent and I'm a good parent and I made sure that happens, right? So there is obviously a problem that we're facing. Obviously, there is a parent problem that priority for us is to make sure that you guys are under pressure, that you guys really perform well. But at the same time, the teen as well sometimes cannot handle pressure. Yeah, which is expected, right? And sometimes because of lack of time management, because of lack of structure of your day, it results in the parents starting to really put more and more pressure. So it works on both sides. Both sides are at fault, I will say, the parents and the teen. So expectations, that's something we really want to talk about today, expectations. Homework and school, especially exams. So remember, we're talking about what causes you to be under pressure? Social media, that's something interesting, isn't it? You might say, why would social media cause me under pressure? But then, sometimes when you're chatting on WhatsApp groups, yeah? Or on, what is that app called? The other one? Snapchat. Yeah, Snapchat. Right? Snapchat. What else? Huh? Twitter, really? You guys on Twitter? TikTok. Oh, I thought you guys are on Twitter. I thought, wow, life is developed, mashallah. You guys are on Twitter. Instagram, yeah, that word. Inshallah, we'll be talking about social media very, very soon, inshallah, in the next few nights. I can't remember which night. But yeah, Instagram, that's a nice one. So, social media, that, there's lots of expectations. We have like lots of group chats, and some people said this and some people said that, and so I'm expected to say this in my group chat, and I'm expected to do that. So I feel so much pressure on me because there's so much expectations from me to do this, this and that. And there's also formal social relationships when you go out with your friends or when you go out at home. Yeah? Go out at home? That doesn't make sense at all. Go out to your family homes and see your friends, etc. Then there is some sort of an expectation for you to behave in a certain way. There's an expectation for you to talk. My wife and I are a bit different. Right? So I'm a bit of an extrovert. She's a bit of an introvert. So she says, silence is okay, If you sit down in family and we sit down and no one says anything, that's actually all right. What's wrong with that? I say, no, you've got to talk. You can't just sit down in silence, right? That's a bit awkward, right? But some people are okay with silence. Silence, if you sit down with a friend of yours and then you just don't really have a topic to talk about, and then you just sit down and look at each other, apparently that's all right, right? I'm still working my head around that, but apparently that's all right, But some people are, they find silence is a bit awkward, You just got to make a conversation, man, right? Talk about anything. I mean, talk about rugby or cricket or whatever, boring sports, right? But talk about anything. But some people find that silence is okay. But there is an expectation from you. There is a pressure. You sometimes feel under pressure to talk during meetups and family meetups and friends, etc., etc. And there is life challenges, isn't there? There is life challenges where, it throws so many things at you. Sometimes there are a sickness in the family. Yeah, someone becomes ill, someone becomes sick, and you feel so under pressure. You got to take care of them. You got to make sure that they're well, etc., etc. Yeah. So there is lots of things that I'm pretty sure you will feel under pressure with. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So someone actually jacked my pens. I will find out who, and I will crucify them, inshallah. But so that's why I can't really, I'm supposed to talk to you today and write things down. I don't really have someone bought me a permanent marker, which I don't really want to use. So that's why it's not going to be as interactive as I wanted it to be. But inshallah, we will continue from tomorrow. Okay. So sometimes being under pressure is actually a good thing, because some people, you might think, like if you've got an exam, you can't work if you're not under pressure. By the way, there are two types of people. There are people who are, they work last minute, and that's actually okay. And there are people who are really organized, and they just organized like few months before. They put all their work into their they're organized in files and booklets, and they've got headings and markers and colors everywhere, and proper organized. But there are people who are just last minute, like a week, 2 weeks before exam, they're like and they just gotta go on panic mode, and they put themselves under pressure. But if you're okay with that, that could be your lifestyle. You could be just a last minute person, and it's difficult to change you. Right? I'm sometimes a last minute person. It depends. It depends what it is. For example, today I did my wife's tax, road tax. Yeah? And today's the 2nd of August. It was supposed to be done yesterday. And bless them, the DVLA or whoever it is, they send it like a month before. They say, hello, tax, excuse me. And I say, yeah, I'll do it later. And then later becomes later, and then becomes late, and then, yeah? So, But we're last minute people. That's how we are. People are people. There are different types of people, right? But that doesn't mean that if you are a last minute person, you've got to make sure that you know how to manage being under pressure, right? Because you are putting yourself into a lot of what? The word that starts with an S. Huh? Stress. Yes, you put yourself under a lot of stress. So it gets really bad when you start really getting stressed. And I'm going to explain to you this concept of stress. Can actually someone explain to me what is stress? What does stress mean? When you hear the word stress, what does that mean? Why is it always the young kids who put their hand up? Is it that when you reach teenage years, you then think like, nah, mate, I'm not going to talk. But under that age, we're 13, you think, I'm going to talk, I'm going to say anything I want. See, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, I bet you all, oh no, you're not under 13. Yes. You must be over 13. Go on. Huh? Panic. What does that panic? What does panic mean? Huh? Oh, mashallah, it has come. So, panic. Panic. MashaAllah, look, these guys are the stress guys. There's no one here, literally, raise their hands. All right, fine. Yes?
Stress is a sort of hormonal response that tries to activate the fight, flight.
Did you just Google this? No? Okay, so it's a hormonal response. Anyone else? Yani, from sister's side, you are probably the only one who usually puts your hand up. Yes?
When you're anxious.
Anxious, what does anxious mean?
It means when you're quite worried.
Worried, yeah. Lots of really interesting words. Worried. If I misspell, you're going to tell me, yeah? Yes. Overwhelmed, that's a very good one. Well done. Overwhelmed, how do you spell it? W? Is that right? Something like that. Yes?
When you overreact on something.
Overreact. Right. Anyone else? Over 13s? Anyone else? Wait. You guys seem to know better than over 13s. Wait. Anyone else? You had your hand up. No? A what? Depression. It's an interesting one. Depression. Well done. Depression. Right. Yes. 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 Huh?
When your body starts like over, like, let's say.
Yeah, okay, go on. Summarize it, please.
Let's say there's something happening, and then you don't realize, and then you suddenly realize, so you start trying to get yourself out of that situation quickly.
Right. I think you're talking about panic, maybe. Yes. Louder.
Some sort of feeling of anger.
Feeling of anger. Okay, fine. We'll write that down. I think we've got enough. We've got panic, anxious, worried, overwhelmed, hormonal response. That's the Google response. Depression, overreact, etc., etc. That's amazing. Well done. Thank you so much. Okay. So you guys obviously know what stress means. Yeah, it just looks a bit like that, doesn't it? You know, when you just go like that, oh, this is so much, I can't take this anymore. You go, oh, like that. I don't know if you make those noises, but you just go, oh, right? So one statistic says that 60%, they did a study of 60% of young people have felt so stressed by pressure to succeed that they felt overwhelmed. Remember? Overwhelmed. Someone said overwhelmed right here. Well done. Or unable to cope. They just can't cope anymore, right? 60% of young people, because they are put under pressure to succeed, mainly from their parents. You say, I want you to, I don't know, why is it an Indian accent? I want you to be a really, really good person, right? And I want you to be successful. I want you to be a medic, right? I want you to get 3 A's in your A-level, like 10 A's in your, they're not A's anymore, like 9s in your GCSEs, right? I want you to do this, but I want you to be a doctor, I want you to be a dentist, and I want you to be a pharmacist all together. That's what I tell my daughter. No, I'm joking. Either a medic, or a dentist, or a pharmacist, or what? A builder. No one wants their kid to be a builder. A lawyer, yeah, a lawyer. Yes. Architect, yeah. Lots of pressure. Hand down, please. Hand down. Lots of pressures to really be that successful person, but the stats show that they feel so stressed and they feel overwhelmed. But some of the parents sitting here, some of the parents, I'm one of them, we don't really understand that our kids sometimes go through so much pressure because of our expectations. Yeah, we put so much pressure on them that it might not be so evident at the start, but later on in their teens and later on, that it will actually affect them, right? So, I gotta do one special session for your parents, right? Yeah. Anyone, do salawat if you want me to do a special session for your parents. More from your side, I don't know. They must be smacking you or something. Right, so but there's a difference between short and long-term stress. Short-term stress is actually all right. Long-term stress is not so good. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to experiment stress, right? I am about to choose, maybe, possibly, choose someone to come up here and give us a 1-minute motivational talk. But I will be choosing this person, right? Possibly choosing this person, right? I may choose this person. So just try to, possibly it's you out of probably 100 people. You got like a 1-2% chance, but it could be you, right? But just before I choose, possibly, long stress, I want to emphasize that long stress can be damaging to your brain. Right, so I'm just going to tell you a bit about science, yeah? So this, you see, this is amazing, isn't it? I just don't talk about Islam, I talk about science, I talk about psychology, and, you know, you guys, you know, you're just so lucky to have me. Anyway, subhanallah, subhanallah, alhamdulillah. So there's a difference between unstressed and stressed, yeah? So this is a brain of someone who's just like, you know, that's like the guys who do mindfulness, like they got no thoughts in their head. They're just like in cloud 9, they say, yeah? There's something right here called what in the brain? Oh, love it. Someone said the brain. I know that's the brain. Right here, not this your skull, right here. Prefrontal cortex. Someone's reading. Prefrontal cortex. Right here is your prefrontal cortex. That's why, you know, you guys, when you play football, and inshallah you guys also play football, especially after England winning the World Cup. Not the World Cup, the European Champions, Euros, yeah? So if you head the ball, right, if you head the ball using right here, your forehead, actually it's causing lots of damage to the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex is right here in the brain. If you take the brain out, it's right in the front, yeah? That's the part of the brain which you make reason. Right, irrational stuff. You make logical things out of it, right? If that is damaged, then you're not gonna really make reason out of things. You're not gonna make logical sense. It's like, you know, your mom comes and tells you, Hassouni, come and do the washing, and you say, oh, okay, mom, I'm gonna go and do I'm gonna go and dry my hair. I think, what is that to do with do the washing? So it just doesn't make sense. There's no reasoning behind that, all right? So if that is damaged, so it's so important for you to take care of your prefrontal cortex. However, I need to tell you something really important. As a teenager, right, your prefrontal cortex is yet to be developed. This is breaking news. Do you get it? So everyone who's a teenager, I mean, if you're younger, they're definitely not developed. But if you're a teenager, your prefrontal cortex is still under development. It's under construction. You know, it's like a building you're trying to build. Yeah, there's still lots of people are working on it. They're drilling, you know, building stuff. You guys with me? Yeah? So right here, your right here is still under development. Yes? Yes, 20. Did you just Google that? Stop Googling, man. Are you sure? Oh, mashallah, you know a lot of stuff. It's either Google or something else. Anyway, so prefrontal cortex right here is under development. Yeah? So it's under construction. That is why you guys sometimes, I mean, don't hate me here, yeah? But sometimes you're a bit irrational in what you do, a bit emotional in what you say, a bit, you know, like, Remember what I said about when you go up, when you become angry, you have to be a teenager. If you don't get angry and then you go up, if you have a house, you go up in the first floor and you smack the door after you enter your own room. Yeah? That is the sign of a teenager. Yeah? So when you do that, you're using your emotions. Your prefrontal cortex is under development, so you're not really using it very well. Yeah? Sorry to tell you that. But inshallah, when you're 20, inshallah, it's all nicely developed for you to use well. Yes? So, you got to take good care of it. You got to take good care of your brain. And I've done research on that, and I've found that these years of teenage years are the most important years in your development, in your brain development. If you do not take care of your brain during these particular years of teenager years, trust me, later on, when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, you will suffer. You'll probably have mental health problems. You will probably can't really think very well because you did not take care of your brain when you were a teenager. Because when you're a teenager, your brain is developing at a very good pace and it's wiring a lot. It's making lots of new connections. As you are now, it's making a lot of connections. You've got to take good care of your brain. That is why honestly, I try my best to tell my kids and others, you got to sleep well, try not to get stressed. Parents, don't put your kids too much under pressure, right? You got to take care of your brain. Take care of my daughter knows that I've said this so many times, probably daily. Take care of your brain, yeah? Sleep well, don't get too stressed, right? And most importantly, you must attempt and know that your brain is under construction and you've got to take care of it. I think a lot of people are yawning, so I need a salawat. So this is the amygdala. This is responsible for emotions like anger, happiness, and sadness. And it's rapidly developing in a teen. That is why, so what happens in your brain, your brain is trying to use the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is under construction and says, oops, I can't enter it. So what it does, it goes to the emotional side of things. That's why you guys are more emotional. Do you get it? Right? Oh, hello. Right? Do you get it? So that is why in your brain, right, here responsible for emotions like anger, happiness, sadness. That's why sometimes we see you, so happy. And then suddenly, oh. Baba, what happened? You know, that was a quick transition. Give us a break. Like, oh, right? Because you're using that part of your brain quite a lot. Yes? And using this less. So therefore, it's important for you to know that you've got to take care of that department. Okay. So remember when we talked about we may choose someone to come and give us a 1-minute speech on something that I will choose, right? So you guys can relax. I'm going to choose one of the sisters right here. Okay? You guys can relax. I'm going to choose one of you guys right here. So, I'm going to measure your blood pressure and stress levels. Just try to recognize your stress levels right now. It's quite high, isn't it? You will be happy to know that you're going to stay there. How did that feel? More than two. How did that feel? How did that feel? Overwhelming, right? So that was a small sort of stress that you went through, right? Did you all go through that? You thought, I'm going to pick you So you went through a lot of adrenaline. You thought, oh my God, he's going to pick me. I'm really stressed. I'm going to, because your body was giving you a head start. It's trying to take so much blood and take it towards your brain so that you are prepared to face what I am about to ask you to do. That's short stress. That's actually okay. Yeah? What you went through and others is actually fine. But what it becomes a problem is when this stress continues and continues. Remember, you were just a bit anxious there. Imagine if you like that 24/7. This is where it becomes quite problematic. So, to give you some practical solutions here. Remember, we're talking about coping under pressure, yeah? So to give you 3 manage points, and this is what I want you to take home with you today, the 3 manage points, right? The first thing I want you to do is you manage your expectations, right? You've got to list out your expectations. Guys, use the pen and paper, right? Stop using your phones. Use pen and paper. We've forgotten about using pen and paper, yeah? The pen and paper, sit down and write down your expectations. Say, Mama wants me to get 3 A's in whatever. Baba wants me to get this. You know, manage your expectations. Write them down. And then when you look at them, right, say, okay, let me discuss this with my parents. Let me have this transparent relationship with your parents. Do you understand? Yes? Have that open relationship with your parents and say, Baba, Mama, I feel really under pressure. Don't be shy in speaking. I know some parents might not accept that, right? But it's important for you to express your feelings. Not in an emotional way, like, wah, Mama. You know, not like that, right? But no, just, go there and say, Mama, Baba, I want to talk to you, right? And they should be sitting down with you and say, okay, Mama, I feel really under pressure. Sometimes, especially when it comes to exam time, right? The way you make me work and the way you tell me I have to revise, it really puts me under pressure. Please, let's come up with a solution. You've got to manage your expectations. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm here to tell you that it's important for you to manage your expectations. Expectations are always going to be there, and sometimes expectations are good, yes? But you've got to master into how you manage them. Do something about it. Don't just have expectations and then you are put into so much pressure. So as I said, an example is your exams, right? You know that in 2 months' time you have exams. You sit down and you know that your parents pressurize you so much when it comes to revise, and you are so much under pressure. You sit down with your parents and say, let's come up with a plan. I don't want this, I know you expect me to get good marks, but I don't want you to keep on pressurizing me and keep on drilling it on me, because that makes me nervous, that makes me stressed. And Ali Al-Hilli said, if you stress a lot, it's really bad for your prefrontal cortex. Blame it on me. Yes? Number 2 is manage your time. Guys, you're really bad at timings. Really bad. I mean, you wake up like random time in the morning, right? Sometimes afternoon, right? And then just manage your time, right? So start with a schedule. I know it's difficult, but prioritize. What's your priority? Tell me. What is your priority in a typical day? So you wake up in the morning, say you wake up at, what time do you guys wake up? Sheeny eye. Huh? What time do you guys wake up? Okay, so let's take an average of 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, you wake up at 10 in the morning. Kafi. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So let's take an average of 10. I know some people might think it's early, some people might think it's late, but let's take an average of 10 o'clock. If it's at 10 o'clock, when you wake up, manage your time, especially now in summer holidays. Don't just spend it doing nothing, yeah? Don't just spend it on your phones or watching films or doing some useless stuff, right? Manage it well. Write down what you want to, write down what are your priorities for that day. What could be your priorities for that day? Tell me. Read a book. Brilliant. Read a book. So maybe you've got a book. You say, okay, until this chapter, my priority is to read that book until this particular chapter. Next. Do some cycling or exercise. I've got to do this amount because that reduces the pressure on you on that day. Yes. Read a story. Write a story. That's really interesting, right? Write a story. Yes, you at the back. You. Yes, you with the scarf. Yeah. Reading Quran, beautiful. That's a beautiful one. Ahsan. Put that as a priority. Yes. Play board games. That's a wonderful priority. Yeah. Play board games. Which one do you recommend? Which one? Cluedo. Oh, Cluedo. Cluedo. Which one? Anyway, whatever. Right. I thought Cluedo is a good one actually. All right, so you gotta manage your time. I don't have time to talk about managing your time, right? But you've got to sit down and manage your time because time is precious. There was a narration from Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam that said from his father, from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, he said that the Prophet used to come and divide his time into three. He said he used to divide his time first to worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for his salah, for reading Quran, etc. Second, with his family. He used to spend time with his family, with his kids, etc. And number three, he used to divide that into either helping the community or doing things his own, he wants to do his hobbies, he wants to practice doing whatever, right? So you've got to divide your time. That was the Prophet. How would you divide your time? At the end of the day, before you go to bed, go back to that piece of paper which you have written down and said, okay, I've divided my time into this, and say, have I achieved this or not? Have I achieved this time in terms of cycling, reading a book, reading the Quran, praying very well, don't pray too rushed, right? Etc., etc. Have you achieved it? If not, say, okay, tomorrow I will achieve it better. If you want to be really harsh on yourself, say, if I'm not going to achieve it tomorrow, I'm going to pay £1 to sadaqah. Because then, or even £10 if you've got a bit more money, right? So, and then start, because it's a bit of a punishment for you, right? To make sure that you go into a routine of trying to really manage your time. And finally is, okay, next. Manage life challenges, right? So there's going to be a lot of life challenges. You're going to face a lot of things in your life, right? Lots of unexpected events. You've got to have a contingency plan. You've got to know how you manage certain life events, certain challenges that might cause you to be under pressure. So finally, my dear friends, is that we talked about long stress is very harmful for you, right? We've got to make sure that we manage stress. We've got to make sure that we take care of our brains. We've got to make sure that we reduce the pressure on us because our brains are so important in the first few years being a teenager, right? So the way we do that is we've got to manage our expectations, really take that seriously, right? Manage my time and manage life expectations. Okay? I've obviously run out of time, right? But inshallah, you can take practical solutions out of this. I don't want you to go back home and just go back to being the same person. I want you to practice these things, right? And if you always need any help, inshallah, I will be here. I want to ask you please to come in early from tomorrow. Try to be sitting down here at 8:15 so we can start on time. So inshallah, we can finish on time as well. Okay? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.